Those are not companies, Gap, Old Navy, Dwayne Reed. They've had various success, Joe, trying to get close to luxury. Can Apple actually be a luxury brand, or does it just need to be near them?
Well, my first response would be Apple in its category is near luxury or affordable luxury simply by the way it invests in design, the user interface. So this is a stretch for them, but not a far reach in my view.
Paul, what do you think?
I mean, this was, you read back Walter Isaacson's biography of Steve Jobs, and this was something that he talked about, that Jobs, not Isaacson, but Jobs talked about a lot, the idea that he didn't think about companies like Dell and Microsoft in terms of the way he wanted to position the company. He thought about BMW and Mercedes. He thought about these kinds of, aspirational luxury or near luxury products that could command a price premium and, had the kind of margins that went with that. And that's the way he'd always thought about the company. So in a sense, near luxury is the way, the Jobsian Apple has always thought of itself.
Joe, how do you keep that going? I mean, how do you keep it from doing something like, we've seen a number of brands, a number of high retail brands sort of just lose their luster when they I think of Perry Ellis or something. Somebody just oversold their name to everybody they could make it so that it became kind of meaningless and cheap.
Mm-hmm. That will be their challenge. If you think about luxury, it's two components. It's exclusivity and it's experience. On the experience side, they're going to have to improve, and they've announced that they will make changes to their store experience. Luxury sales don't typically take place on hard surfaces. They're on carpet. There's an intimacy to it. There's a service level that even would be beyond Apple today, as good as they are in the service experience end of things with their training and hiring. On the exclusivity side, that's where I think it would be somewhat of a shift. We may see creative collaborations in the future with designers. We may see customization to a greater degree that they have done. And we're certainly going to see them, if they play it well, start to limit the availability of certain designs. And that really, these are hallmarks of luxury brand development and retailing. And so Apple will have to learn its way into that space. Although, given what they have done, and to the point made earlier, Jobs' philosophy, I think this is well within their grasp.
Yeah, Paul Kedrosky, when I think about limited editions, I think about inventory risk, going back to the future of the technology period. Should we not be thinking of it that way? Should we be thinking about it as very limited runs that are all about sort of establishing brand as opposed to selling stuff?
I just have to believe that we're all kind of wrong about the luxury end of this, that this is going to be a very, very small and tangential part of the Apple Watch business, because it just seems so antithetical to the culture of the company. The near luxury part I get, but the scarcity and exclusivity part, where you start pricing for these incredible price premiums and start building around scarcity and exclusivity, that's just so antithetical to the to the company itself and sort of the DNA of what Apple always wanted to be. They were the opposite of IBM. They wanted to be out there and providing these products to the rest of us. And in a sense, exclusivity really wasn't part of the selling message at all. So I get that they'll probably do some side projects where they're working with other affiliates and others to do this kind of stuff, but to make it core to the product, the risks are from inventory to branding to inability to pull off exclusivity. I would be really surprised if it's a big part of the pitch.
Joe Jackman, what is the biggest risk? Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to build on that point and say you're 100% right in that, design for all, it's boring a Target phrase, but this notion that everyone can experience something better and have an appreciation for design and functionality, user interface of a different kind. So Apple's done that. I think it's just that can they make that shift to playing a game where these are objects that are desired in a way that is different than, say, mass or mastige, to use that expression. But I love the idea that maybe this is the mission, to make what might otherwise be seen as luxurious available to more and more people while still sort of coming off as genuine to the brand.